behind Yoodli. Hopefully that's the exciting piece. And then I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of how Yoodli works. And maybe that's the disappointing piece, but hopefully you'll believe that we're making the tool better. I'm going to talk really quickly and I'm going to say a lot of things. Success for me is I can get people excited about Yoodli such that you want to go and try it out and use it yourself. A few quick things from the outset. I am representing Yoodli and not the world headquarters. It's very important to say that because if I say anything silly, it's on me and it's on Yoodli. The second part of it is Yoodli has a public version at www.yoodli.ai that I'm going to demonstrate today. But for Toastmasters members, there is a bespoke version of Yoodli that you can access from your member portal that's been customized around your Toastmasters experience. And we highly recommend using that. Quick thing about me, I'm Varun. I grew up in India. I worked at Google for a few years. I ran special projects for Sergey Brin, who's one of the founders. And then I helped start an early project where we were using invisible lasers to bring internet to unconnected places. So I lived in sub-Saharan Africa and I quit that to start Yoodli. The dream behind Yoodli is simple. Too many smart people struggle to communicate with confidence. All the way from the kid in India who deserves a Google job more than me, to the insecure executive, to the woman who gets talked over in corporate meetings, to the person who wants to join Toastmasters but is too nervous to join, to the person who has their first pathway speech. My dream behind Yoodli is, can I build a smart mirror, an AI-powered speech coach that gives you private, real-time and judgment-free feedback on your gesture, posture, body language, tone, pitch, intonation. For those of you all who are familiar with technology, Duolingo has done this to language learning and Grammarly has done this to writing. In doing so, I want to say a few things outright. First is I don't want to build robots, right? Shame on me if I make the kid in India talk like the white man, Steve Jobs, and he gets on stage and does that. That is not success. I want to help give people personalized feedback about the way they speak. The second is human speech is beautiful and spontaneous and nuanced. And I want to approach this problem with the humility and the creativity it deserves. I don't think Yoodli is a magic bullet. I'll be the first to tell you that, but I think it's pretty good to help you get much better. However, at the end of the day, you've got to rely on your human instinct and gut as you use the tool. And the third and most important piece, because I get this question all the time, is Yoodli is not meant to replace Toastmasters club experiences, right? Toastmasters is about the social interaction and helping people overcome their anxiety and their fear of public speaking. Yoodli is an augmentation to Toastmasters meetings. It is meant to help get more members to join clubs, to help club members collaborate with each other more asynchronously, to give people more avenues to practice. And I'll show you all of that in a second. If there are burning questions, feel free to put them in the chat, but I'll try to run through my demonstration really quickly. And then from there, we can jump into Q&A. I'll try to spend 10 minutes most. So this is Yoodli. It's at www.yoodli.ai. You can access it free of cost. My hope is, how can I build this such that millions of people use it? And obviously at some point I've got to figure out how to make money. I don't have all the answers just yet. When I come to Yoodli, I can do a few things. Again, I'm not going to show you all of the capabilities. I'm just going to demonstrate some parts. Why is Yoodli not?
Just want to jump in and check. Can everyone see his screen? Excellent. Thank you.
Yep, of course. Awesome. So, let's say I've got an upcoming speech. It could be a speech. It could be an interview, whatever. I'm going to come and I'm going to practice for a speech. It's my first pathway speech. I'm really nervous. I would typically practice in front of a mirror. And let me just start. Hi guys. I'm just really excited to really talk to you about my project. I think it's unfair that 2 out of 3 people in the world, struggle to speak with confidence, and it's not crazy. But now I'm getting really, really excited and I'm talking really quickly and I'm saying all kinds of random words because, sometimes when we talk fast, we move our hands all over the place and I'm just, saying all kinds of random words and I've just got to start practicing somewhere. This is my icebreaker. Not the best speech in the world. As soon as I'm done, I press save recording It takes a moment and boom, I've instantly got a transcript of what I said, as well as a series of analytics. Varun, you tend to repeat yourself back to back. The AI speech has automatically renamed my title, Confidence Boost, Practice Now. It was smart enough. I had 16% filler words. Oh my God, I can do a better job. I use non-inclusive language. Crazy can be ableist. Guys can be gender non-inclusive. I use a lot of weak words, really, kind of, basically, totally. You can see exactly where I got nervous and where I started talking really quickly so we can quickly diagnose my problem. My eye contact, body language, etc. you can see, but the real magic starts when you click on comments. My AI speech coach says, hey, Varun, here are the key points that your audience took away. You're excited about your project. Some people struggle to speak with confidence. I refer to the iceberg metaphor, whatever. Then my AI speech coach says, here are questions your audience might ask. Have you struggled with confidence in speaking? If so, how did you overcome it? What inspired you to start this project? Can you share specific tips? Right? So these are the kinds of things that a human expert might tell me, or even better, my AI speech coach says, hey, here you were really verbose. Here's a way for you to be more concise. Now I've practiced with AI. I've got a bunch of comments. I'm feeling better, but here's how I can collaborate with another club member. So I'm going to press share. And Dorothy, if you don't mind, what's your email? Sorry, Dorothy, you're on mute.
DorothyMiller.tm@gmail.
Okay, so Dorothy is my mentor, my coach, whatever. Dorothy, I'm so nervous. Icebreaker speech tomorrow. Please help, la, la, la. And now Dorothy can go in and start giving me feedback. Varun, slow down here. Hi guys, breathe in. You get the idea of it, but all of Dorothy's comments are automatically timestamped. So I click, then I'm taken to that exact frame in the video. I no longer need to play the video, pause the video, say at 3 minutes you did something weird, at 4 minutes you did something weird. It's all automatically timestamped. So what's an example of this? If there's someone who needs help on their speech, or for instance, anyone who's preparing for a speech contest, come practice with Yoodli and then send your speech to hundreds of people and they can all give you feedback. So most of the folks who are preparing for district, division, area contests are using Yoodli. Instead of having to go to hundreds of club meetings, they can now practice like this and asynchronously get feedback. Most folks who are preparing for like DTM distinctions, etc., are using Yoodli to augment their practice. Even better, if there's someone who's nervous about joining your club or a guest, get them to send you their Yoodli and show them that your members will give them feedback. Our advisory board is most of the senior Toastmasters, Craig Valentine at Tate, Mark Brown, Verity Price, like most of the folks who are world champions have been helping us build this. This is one part of Yoodli. You can come and practice interviews, difficult conversations, much more. You can use Yoodli in your everyday Zoom calls and get real-time nudges. Varun, you're talking too quickly, slow down. Varun, you're interrupting women more than men, whatever that might be. And then we built table topics. Speaking is fun and light and playful, and we all love table topics. We've now built table topics powered by artificial intelligence. So I'm going to get a random prompt. If I had unlimited budget, I would live in the Bahamas. I would go and look at goldfish all the time, and hopefully I get to experience the sun and the light. In Washington, it's always raining. I would feel like a bird with unlimited wings. I wouldn't have to worry about gun violence and the temperature and how people are feeling. You get the idea. As I use these words into my story, my system automatically checks them off and I get a score. Desk, error. And as I say it, Yoodli detects it. And when I'm done, I get a score. There are a bunch more games. A few closing thoughts before I open it up to questions. And any question is acceptable. Well, but Varun, what about Upspeak? How does it work for non-native English speakers? What about accents? Does this work in Mandarin? I'm worried about privacy. I saw a bot join my Zoom call. You can ask me anything. How are you making money? Two things. The first is my hope with Toastmasters is hopefully that's a starting point for us. How do I get 300,000 members loving and using the tool and then using it to improve and then spreading it into the world? Right? My hope with Yoodli is to get this to millions of people. So please love it, use it in your club sessions, use it in your club meetings, and Yoodli will augment the counter, grammarian, etc. And then hopefully they'll take it to their friends and colleagues and Toastmasters alumni. We've brought on some of the most passionate Toastmasters folks from across the world as ambassadors who are going and doing Yoodli demos at different clubs and using this to keynote at district conferences. So today we have I think there are 8 district conferences we are speaking at. Many of our ambassadors are doing it, and this gets them towards their DTM distinction. That's one. The second is, if you want to follow along, feel free to join our online community where there are thousands of people looking for Toastmasters clubs and thousands of Toastmasters sharing best practices on how to use Yoodli. The link for that is yoodli.ai/community. And when you're there, you can engage with most of the world's top speech coaches and debate instructors, and people are playing table topics and challenging one another. It's just a fun, safe online community. Okie dokie, I have 8 minutes. I said a million things. I'm going to run through chat questions, but if folks have questions, please raise your hand and I will try to power through. Okay, when will Yoodli, so Sean asks, when will Yoodli include body language and broader vocal variety? Yoodli already does, but we're building in more. So if I go to the current speech that I just did, it'll take a second to load. Here's my confidence boost speech. When I press delivery, I've got feedback on how well centered I was, my smiles, my eye contact. We are building in hand gestures, pitch, intonation, and more. Sheldon says, table topics is cool. That's my hope. My real dream with Yoodli is how do I get people, especially college kids, to play drinking games when they speak? This shouldn't be an insecurity, right? It should be something that's fun and light. That's obviously not the official answer. Could we use Yoodli with table topics and play it back? Yes, Heather, most clubs are doing that today itself. Sheldon used this for an area speech contest. I am glad. How did I come up with the name Yoodli? It's a play on yodel, which is a type of voice exercise. Okay. Any more questions? Hand raise. There've got to be some. Yep, Sheldon.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, at some point, I think this is wonderful. And I see ability to use it at home to get practice and stuff, but it will be a way someday to work on evaluation so that we could have some speeches loaded and we could practice evaluation and giving evaluation of that speech.
Yeah, so we've already got versions of that actually. So if you go into Yoodli, you'll see we've got hundreds of featured speeches, and I do this for fun.
Awesome.
So we got Taylor Swift speeches and, Jack Ma and Miley Cyrus and Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and Oprah, and you can see her speech and you can go in and give comments. And here are 39 folks who've given feedback. I love it. The finger pointing can be distracting. You all can just go ahead and practice that. Awesome. More questions? Yep.
I have a question.
Yep.
Are we encouraged to use Yoodli in the club meeting or just a private use? Dorothy, what's our policy? I know
I can
very
answer that. No, the idea is, look, use Yoodli to practice, but my hope is Yoodli shouldn't be just a practice tool. Use it during your live club meetings. So we have a Zoom integration whereby Yoodli joins your call and gives everyone in the club feedback on how much they spoke, when they spoke, etc. So please keep using it. And in fact, we've built a version of Yoodli that I'm using on this call that only records you. Nobody else knows you're using it, and it gives you real-time nudges, right? Varun, you're in a manager meeting, you're really nervous, or you're forgetting something. Cool. Sylvia asks me, what is your privacy policy? I get this all the time. If you go to yoodli.ai/privacy, you'll be able to see it in 3 simple bullet points without the legal language. And then there's also a link to the legal language. Answer is data you own or you record is yours. You can choose when to delete it. Only people you explicitly share the videos with can access your videos. For those of you all who use Google Drive, OneDrive, etc., sharing settings are completely based on that. And on our end, engineers with white labeled access on the back end could go and see videos only for product improvement. Obviously, we're getting hundreds of thousands of videos. We never look at the content of a video. It will be, are our analytics working? So this is straightforward. All of the data stored on secure Google servers. We don't handle storage. I mean, rightfully so, we're a tiny startup. Is there a risk that someone would pass off a Yoodli generated speech as their own words? So Gary, it's a good question. I don't know, right? Artificial intelligence is moving so quickly, and I think that's fine. I use ChatGPT to write part of this keynote. The way I think of Yoodli is, if I'm the accountant, Yoodli is TurboTax. If I'm the electrician, Yoodli is my power drill. It's a tool that I can use to get a leg up, and I think that's completely fair. But I know there's a lot of skepticism around that. And given the pace at which the world is moving, there'll be a lot of back and forth that we don't yet know the answer to. Actually, Jan, I think you had a question. Let's do Jan, Dorothy, and then Miriam.
Yes, I was wondering how we could delete something if it was quite embarrassing and we weren't too proud of it. And I think you answered that.
Yeah, look, my goal also is how do I make this tool really self-serve and easy to use? So if you go into your library, like, God, I have like 1,700 videos. If I want to delete this video, I just do this, delete, and it's gone. To the question about privacy settings, I can press share and I can say, look, can anyone with the link view it? So if I share it, paste the link in a Facebook group, everyone can view it, or only people explicitly invited can view it, which means I need to specifically add your email. So if I copy the link and let's say I try to get a random person to open it, they will not have access, right? Because I haven't explicitly shared it with them. I'll also send you, we've got a YouTube channel called Yoodli, and over there we've got a lot of instructional videos on pro tips of frequently asked questions, etc. And when you join the community, you'll see lots of folks asking questions. Yep, Dorothy.
I know you touched on this right at the beginning, but the difference between the paid version and the Toastmasters version, what are the main differences?
Yep, so to be clear, none of the versions are paid, which is I'm losing a lot of money every day. The Toastmasters version is built around the Toastmasters experience. So it has Toastmasters branding, logo, their method. The public version, though, has a lot more functionality. It's got the Zoom integration and AI-powered follow-up questions. And to be totally honest, I'm working with World Headquarters to get more functionality into the Toastmasters version. It's just, slower, obviously. In the long term, we will add some kind of paywall onto the public version, a couple dollars a month. But we will keep the Toastmasters version highly subsidized. And don't take this as gold, like I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot my next question. Go on to Gary.
Cool. Now let's do Miriam next.
Thank you, Varun. I would like just to know, from the moment you started to use Yoodli, how much have you improve as a speaker? Thank you.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, Miriam, my story is I'm a non-native English speaker. I grew up in India. I'm conscious of my accent. Being in the US is hard. It's also my passion story. Yoodli has been instrumental in helping me improve. It's why I'm building this tool. The most concrete things it helps me with is I talk a lot. Yoodli tells me when I'm rambling, when to shut up, especially now as a founder and CEO of a company. I want to make sure I'm not hijacking meetings. So Yoodli gives me real-time alerts on my talk time. So, I mean, I use it on every call all the day. I'm perpetually testing it on myself. So any mistakes you see in my speech are because of Yoodli. Anything I'm doing well is because of Yoodli. Sean asked me, are you being paid anything from Toastmasters International? I'm not. I'm doing this free of cost. My hope was I just want to get the word out there, and Toastmasters would be the dream partnership for me because this is where people care about speaking. At some point, we will add a paywall to the Toastmasters version for members to access, but it'll be highly subsidized. To your question of why, Sean, it's because I'm a 1-year-old company and Toastmasters is a 99-year-old company, and the opportunity to partner with them is huge for us, right? We're getting the brand out, and success is that y'all will all love the tool and take it into your lives and your companies. And hopefully for those of y'all who work at, I don't know, Accenture, Deloitte, whatever, y'all will then get folks at Deloitte to say, holy crap, we need Yoodli. And that's how I will make money, but I'm figuring it out.
And if I'm not mistaken, Varun, was it Margaret Page that first connected with you, got us into Toastmasters?
Yeah, it's funny, I emailed every past president, everyone blew me off, but Margaret was the only person who took the call with me and then flew me out to Colorado, and I'm very grateful to Margaret. She's been like,
excellent. So you should feel proud, you guys, that it's actually came from one of our very own here in District 21.
Yeah, I mean, Margaret's also part of our advisory board. She's a mentor to me. A lot of people, when I first came up with the idea, were highly skeptical for obvious reasons. Well, AI can only give tactical feedback and you're trying to replace humans and your tool sucks. I think Margaret saw the potential. And even right now, I get a lot of backlash every day. When you join our community, you'll see all kinds of hate. well, the tool didn't do this, the tool didn't work, and like we're trying our best to improve it. Yep, Heather.
Is the Zoom integration with Yoodli easy to figure out?
I would like to think so. If it's not, please message me and I will try to make it better. I'll share my screen and show you how it works really quickly.
Oh, okay, because you have to be at Toastmasters International.
Okay, so here I am. I'm on Yoodli. It's called Yoodli for online meetings. So you can see this is my calendar. I've got 3 back-to-back keynotes right now, District 3, District 21, District 65. Anyhow, so you can use Yoodli on individual mode, which is that private coach I talked about, and on team mode, when Yoodli joins my Zoom call and gives everyone feedback. So let me give you an example of how this worked. So I was on a call with this guy named Nathan yesterday, and this is our current call. And then I can go in and see analytics for Varun and for Nathan. So on my call with Nathan, I had no monologues, but I spoke for 63% of the time and I didn't ask him questions. And then I've got my usual, eye contact, filler words, body language, analytics.
Okay, so it could be used for a Toastmaster meeting by using the team section.
Yeah. Most techie clubs are using us as part of their everyday meetings. And again, if you join our community, you follow us on social, you'll see lots of examples of it.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. We have a few more minutes, more questions. I've also put a lot of links in the chat. Please feel free to copy and save them. If you're interested in being an ambassador, join our community and reach out. Tracy, there is no storage limit on recording videos, but if people abuse it, like, they use Yoodli to stream and store Star Wars and like Lord of the Rings, we'll find out. And then we'll come ask you not to do that because it costs us a lot of money. As you saw, I had 1,700 speeches in my library. Wonderful. More questions. Normally I get like rapid fire.
Varun, did you, where did this passion come from? How did you get started on this?
Yeah, it's a long story. Summary is, look, I was at Google. It was an amazing job. I was living this dream job, working with the founder of the company, getting incredible exposure. But I think I saw that so many smart people don't get opportunities they deserve because of the way they speak, right? I was like the schmoozy guy, like the engineers would do the work and I would do the presentation and I would get the promotion. And I was like, this is just such a sick game. It's all about how you speak and how you present and how you schmooze. And the people who end up not getting opportunity are the introverts, the non-native English speakers, folks who are insecure of their accent. And shame on me if I don't do something to help. So that's the passion story behind it. And I will truly be excited if I can help kids in India or immigrants in the US speak more confidently, but I've also got to make money. So I'm figuring all of that out. Someone asked if I record my video, would people see it without my agreement? No, I just answered this question. You can go to yoodli.ai/privacy and you'll have the same answer again. Where can I invest in your company? Oh, super. I love it. What check size are we talking? We just raised a little over $7 million, which has been exciting. So our investors are founders of Microsoft, the first investors in Amazon, etc. But yes, to me, having someone use and love our product is a lot more meaningful than someone writing us a check. So my ask of you is use it, test it, break it, use it every day, spread the message. That to me is way more important than your money. How much do you expect Yoodli Toastmasters to pay? This is 100% off the record. Do not quote me because I don't know. I need to figure out pricing. My guess is, I want to make Yoodli something awesome that people use every day. So we'll have the public version at, $10 bucks a month for the basic plan, maybe 20 for more advanced features. And then the Toastmasters plan will have like a 60-70% discount. Do not quote me on that. Again, I come like representing me, not world headquarters. But I'm talking out loud. Cool, I'm at time. Last question.
I'd like to know who's ready to try Yoodli if you haven't already. Awesome. We've got some converts then.
That's why I'm here. Cool. You'll see me on the community. I really want to make an impact with this, and I hope you all can help me do the same.
To be honest with you, Varun, I remember once when Margaret used it in a club meeting and I hadn't tried it yet at all. And when I got the report, I found it confusing to read. But it's like anything. When you try something the first time, it's all so new. After I got into it a little bit deeper, it all started to make sense and was much easier to follow through.
I mean, Dorothy, is hard, right? It's like any technology. The tool is not perfect. We keep iterating. My approach to building this is if something's half broken, I'll ship it. I'll wait for people to scream at me and then I'll improve it.
Varun, a question.
Yep.
Do you see any difference or any districts which are using more Yoodli than others? Would that have any impact? Would you comment on that?
Yeah, it's a really good question. In fact, I mean, I have districts that are the techiest that are using Yoodli, and all of their folks are going on to, like, you know, higher levels in the world championships, etc. I think most of last year's world championship contestants use Yoodli. In fact, you can see a bunch of examples as well. If you go to yoodli.ai/blog, I have, you know, here's an example from District 13, where they wrote a blog post about how they won their speech contest using Yoodli. Districts that are more tech averse and stuck in their ways, you know, aren't fans. I've been knocking on everyone's doors, but I think this typically, not to stereotype, districts that are younger, more techy, they have corporate clubs, a lot more willing to use Yoodli because it saves them so much time, as well as districts trying to grow, right? So if you, I mean, think about it. If you have a guest at your club meeting and you show the guest, hey, you can get access to this cool AI tool and you can share your speeches with us and we are all here to help you out. Like, I promise you within seconds, they will sign up. So when you go to social media and you type Yoodli, you'll just see which districts are using this to get members and, you know, which PQDs are interested about it.
Varun, I just got a quick to finish off a short story. A new member joined our club and he was specifically looking to improve his interview skills because he had applied for a new job. So he was only a member for 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. He got onto Yoodli right away and practiced his interview skills on Yoodli and realized a great improvement in a very short time. Like in a week and a half, his starting point to where he ended off had improved so much. He went into the interview and got the job. So there you have it, people. We are 2 minutes. So if you want to hang around and talk to Varun or have any more questions, feel free to. Otherwise, we will head back to the main room for our next session.
It's interesting. Yeah, Molly worked closely with Craig Valentine. Craig, actually, so Margaret in Toastmasters took a bet on us. Craig, who I think won like 1999 or 2000 world championship, was the first person in the world who's like, I like this idea behind Yoodli. And, you know, Craig coaches and whatnot. So Craig helped us build Yoodli, and a lot of what we built is around Craig. So I think Molly worked closely with Craig and was one of our Yoodli power users. Cool. I'll hang around if folks have questions.
Mike, do you have your question? You have your hand up. Nope. Heather? You have your hand up?
I wonder if you, I sent this question as well to Dorothy. There's a spotlight behind your head in your video right now. Would AI pick that up because it's very bright on my eyes?
Yes. I mean, again, the short answer to like, can AI do something? Answer is yes to a lot of it. It's, you know, your background is weird, Varun. There are like angles, your lighting is bad. We're working on a lot of that. It's
You are? Okay, so it's coming. Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Pingu.
Yes, Dorothy, a question for you. And since your club already introduced Yoodli, so you just encourage them to use privately, or you used it for a certain part of meeting?
It depends on who's in the meeting. Margaret's in one of my clubs, so when she's in it, she uses it. Not everyone uses it. You know, it takes time to get people to change.
No, yes, I understand privately, you know, take people's own time, but do you use that during club meeting for a second?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. To use as like a evaluator kind of, or general evaluator?
Well, anyone can do it and then just share the feedback with the members and they can take it or not. So you just have it running during the meeting.
Great, thank you.
It pointed out a lot of my crutch things. Anyone else? I think it's kind of fun, something new, and it will be noted years from now that we were instrumental in getting Yoodli and Varun and his partners off the ground here. This is exciting.
I don't know if that's true, Dorothy. Like every day I'm like,
Well,
I don't
Varun,
take
I'm a
advice off
positive
my guests.
person.
It's so hard.
Go ahead, Sean.
It did say that I used my catchphrase too often in my speech, my practice for my speech. So I thought that was interesting, but it was intentional. So I was, yeah, whatever.
But I think, Sean, that's the exact idea, right? Yoodli will point out things about your speech that are objective. And then you as a human will say, yep, I meant to repeat my catchphrase. It's what I want the audience to take away. So it's okay that I repeated this. Great.
Good.
Right, so we are actually going into a break right now. So you are welcome to stay in here and chat, or we're going to take, let's see, until 11:17, we're on a break. So we're at 11:12 right now. So you have 5 minutes right now that you can stretch your legs, maybe go get something to eat. Because at 11:20, we are going to have Ted Corcoran here with us, who is a past international president. And you won't want to miss that one.